Morning all. I'd like to show you a real shocker from yesterday in the game Hikaru Nakamura against Levon Aronian. So Levon is the number 2 player in the world with a FIDE rating of 2813. He seems to have comfortably equalised with black in this position. So this is at move 29. He's just playing now the move Queen takes A4. Let's put on a Gabitsa here. And okay, Hikaru Nakamura plays Knight takes C5, and here, okay, White is going to win potentially this pawn, but what about this pawn being potentially weak? Can you guess what Black actually played here if I give you 10 seconds starting from now? Or you might want to pause the video. Okay, Black actually played the move Queen B5. Okay, this is quite interesting. There's a slight weakness of the last move with this. I wonder if you can guess how White can exploit the slight weakness of the last move. So Queen B5 offering an exchange of queens. White actually now plays the forcing move Queen takes B5. So after A takes B, can you guess what White has in this position if I give you 10 seconds starting from now? Okay, White has Knight D7, and this is a bit of a shock and horror position actually, because if the rook moves, can you see what White has? White has this nasty fork on F6. You can either play that immediately, Knight F6, winning the exchange, what's known as winning the exchange, the rook for a knight. So this is the exchange up, and the problem also is these pawns, otherwise there might be a fortress opportunity for Black. It's because of these pawns that White's definitely winning this position, especially if you can scoop up this pawn without Black actually getting the C3 pawn. So that's pretty hopeless. In the game continuation, Levon tried Rook takes D7 here, slight improvement, Rook A8, but the game was wrapped up with okay, King F2, now G4 restricting the knight to H4, so it hasn't even got many squares. If it went back to G7, Rook E7, and this is quite unpleasant. Okay, if Rook F6 here, check, and Rook F8, there's no defense of the F7 pawn here. So this is pretty nasty stuff. So the knight actually went to H4. After F4, it's pretty stranded actually, the knight now. Rook E7. Black doesn't want to drop F7, he protects it. King G3, G5, F5, and this knight's got no squares. So not just the exchange down, it's a terrible knight, and now a really cruel move to finish off. Rook E6 was played. So a pretty disastrous blunder from the world number 2 yesterday. Let's just go back to that critical moment. I think it said, Nakamura said if Queen C6 had been played, I think he was expecting to just offer a draw here. For example, Knight takes A6, Queen takes C3. If anyone's better from an engine point of view, Black's actually better in this position, only a tiny bit better. For example, Rook C1, Queen A5, because we have a knight which is a little bit in trouble. And the important thing here is Rook D2, and you can see that Black actually might be a little bit better. This is just an engine variation, but with the move F3, it's like there's a slight weakness here to try and tap into. Here, Rook E2, now threatening Knight E3. You can see that Black would be the one, potentially trying for a win. Queen B2 threatening now Rook A8, A2. these are just from a very technical point of view, just to show that black was actually slightly better. There's pressure now on g2, which can be used with knight h4. So this line just shows that black actually could have ended up winning a pawn with absolute best play. So from this position, after knight takes c5, queen c6 was actually, if anyone was better, it was black. So a bit of a tragic blunder there from Levon Aronian, but it just shows, you know, we're just human, even if we have a phenomenal FIDE rating of 2813, and the critical moments with forcing moves in chess, which one has to be calculating all the time. It's forcing moves here which cause black to just have a completely lost position, it seems. Just the forcing move queen takes b5 and knight d7, which introduces another forcing move, knight f6 and rook e8. So it's pretty nasty stuff. Chess is not for the faint-hearted. Levon said, you know, he was humbled a bit by this game. It's a humbling game, and it certainly is. It's a bit of a shock to see this kind of blunder from the world number 2, but it's a reminder, you know, as humans we're prone to blunders. We haven't got the calculating ability of computers, which would see all these forcing moves in, you know, a fraction of a second. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.